Hello and welcome back to Wireman's Whimsy. I am Lorraine and it is Throwback Thursday. I'm returning to one of my favorite sets, the prized Peony set, and incorporating the Peony dies as well. And to throw in one of the new sets, this is one of the $1 Million Sale sets, Go To Greetings. It is fabulous. I love the scripts. It's fabulous, fabulous, fabulous. So I've used the Just a Note on the card itself. And what else have I used? I have used the Awash in Beauty 12 by 12 Designer Series paper, cut down to 5 1/4 by 4. So what you need for this card is your greeting stamp from the Go To Greetings, the large peony stamp from the prized Peony, and the die from the Peony dies. I've used Blushing Bride and Mossy Meadow, and I need a finger dauber to add the green to the stems. I've got a Blushing Bride card base, and I've also got a Mossy Meadow mat. Say that 3 times fast. And I've cut it to 5 3/8 by 4 1/8. Just so that I've got it just a little bit bigger than the 5 1/4 by 4. Just that little hint. I didn't want a lot because the lines in this paper are thin. So I wanted just, again, that thin line just to make that Designer Series paper pop. Because if you put it directly on the card, it still looks fine, but doesn't it look better that way? So I'll leave that out so you can write down the size. You need a scrap of basic white to stamp on. So let's go ahead and get started with the stamping. I am going to ink up with my Blushing Bride. Ink this up really well. Okay, so it's all inked up. I'm going to take my finger dauber into the Mossy Meadow, and I'm going to add the Mossy Meadow ink to the stamp. You can see from the example there's places where I didn't fully ink, and I actually quite like that, but I'm going to do my best here to fully ink so you can see the effect. Okay, a little bit there. All right. So because it's been inked up for a little bit, I am just going to huff on it to re-moisten the ink. And then I'm just going to press it down and lift up. So there we go. And it will dry just a little bit lighter than it is right now. So I am going to stamp the greeting. I did use a piece of scrap paper with grid lines on it just to confirm that my stamp, because this is a cling stamp, not a photopolymer. So I just wanted to make sure that when I stamp this, the stamp is actually straight. And I'm lining up in the middle. I'm not lining up on the curly cues because that makes it really hard to kind of get everything straight. So I'm focusing on the letters in the middle, and I know that it's fairly straight on here. So I am going to take this and I'm going to line this up and pop it down. So there we go. Oh, shoot, and I rocked it. Okay, well, we're going to have to get another piece of the Designer Series paper out. So I've already cut this to 5 1/4 by 4, and I know that I've got more pieces of this in here, and they are right here. So that's the other side. So I can still cut this off and use the rest of the paper. If I'd like to, I can fussy cut that out as well. What I am going to do is I'm going to take a tissue, and I am going to just clean the ink off the edge so that I don't get that shadow anymore. Okay, I am going to re-ink. I'm going to be really careful not to get the ink around the edges and not to rock my stamp when I put it down. So, sorry, I'm getting my hair in the frame, I know. I'm just trying to line this up. And pop it down without rocking it. And there we go. Aha. So, paper does have two sides, but sometimes you just need the one side. And you can see that it's lined up really well with the lines on here. So, I need to now cut out the greeting. So I'm going to grab my die, and I want to cut this out fairly evenly. I don't want to leave it to chance that the die isn't going to move. So I'm going to grab a sticky note just to hold it down like that, sandwich it up, and pop it through the machine. So run that through, and then we can build our card. And I used the Champagne Rhinestone Basic Jewels to just add a little bit of bling to the card. So let's pull this apart. And you can see the difference. There's still a little bit of the Blushing Bride, just a hint. But it's come out really, really well. I am going to just use my Stamp and Seal to put the card together. Everything's flat mounted except the Peony, which I have dimensionalized. So now this is a really, really skinny border around here, really thin. Just make sure you're kind of equal top and bottom, and then you can drop it down to the side. And again, there's that. That's just beautiful. This paper is just beautiful. This one, you don't even need, you could just stamp a greeting across the top, put it to a card base, and you're good to go. So super, super simple. Again, really narrow margins on this one. So, and it moved, I pulled it a little bit because my fingers were stuck. But there we go. And as per the example, I'm just mounting this. And this one I mounted kind of to the side. This one I'm going to mount more straight. So I need some dimensionals. So I'm just going to pop them around like this. And I think I can probably put another large one in there like that. And then I'm going to pull some of those small ones that I've pre-cut from the edges of an old sheet and just peel those off. And we can mount this up, and then we can add some rhinestones just to give it a bit of bling. If you've got opal rounds, you can use those. If you've got basic rhinestones, you can use those. There's all kinds of options. So like I say, I'm going to put this one a little bit more upright. So it's going to pop like that. Here's comparison to the old one. I'm just going to pull in my champagne. I have got stuff everywhere. Totally disorganized today. But that one's just stuck to my finger. So pop one down like that. And maybe one down here like that. And then that one's on my finger as well. Must be very attractive today. So there we go. That is the card done with the Retired Prized Peony with the current go-to greetings, which are stunning. Some champagne rhinestones, and we are good to go. So thank you so much for watching, and we will create together again soon.